week. However, it's changed drastically over the course of the night. The overtime win against Antic, the Circular Spheres, locked themselves into the playoffs, whereas the Panic matchup between Bliss, we thought that was going to be an onslaught. We thought that was going to be done and dusted by literally the 10th round. But Panic pushed it all the way to overtime, in which Bliss closed out their final 2 rounds. Now the permutations change. Now the pressure is on 6Targets. Mandy, they must win. There's no doubt they must win. Doesn't matter whether it's overtime or doesn't matter if it's in regulation. They have to win against Man LFO.
Yeah, absolutely. All these guys need to do is get 2 more points, and that is it. And to get 2 points, you just need 6 rounds. And then from there, they win on round diff regardless against Panic, right? That is the matchup that we're currently seeing here on the standings. It is very possible, Rob. I know that Man LFO is currently in 3rd. They've been looking solid. They look good. But it is very possible that we see 6Targets claim this win here.
Do the old men wind back the clock, Dev? Do they do it once more?
Oh, it's hard to say because, yeah, 6Targets need that win in regulation or overtime. Doesn't matter. But there's also a lot to fight for Man LFO, right? You can see right now they're just outside of those 2 bye spots, which means they skip a game in the GSL playoffs. And being 2 points behind Odeon, but a long way behind in the round diff, means that they need a regulation win to confirm it. But as for 6Targets, yeah, you mentioned them, the old men, the retirees who have come out of it. Kakin obviously sticking through thick and thin last year through all the tribulations of the rosters that he was a part of. Nico back in after coaching Bliss for a while. He's back in the server. And, of course, that beautiful man on the right-hand side, Big Specker. Lovely to see him. He's back. He's had quite a bit of time now to fit with the team since having his holiday in Japan. And, yeah, I'm so excited to see what this team is capable of achieving. He's, like, just in the corner of his room, and he's got the camera. Yeah, okay. Well, this guy always loves to surprise us with the cameras.
That's an interesting choice. That's a very interesting choice. But, Mandy, the roster really, unfortunately, just haven't hit the strides that we hoped for. However, they have started to find a little bit of form in the middle of the season.
Yeah, I think as Kakin mentioned earlier in his interview, it's just teething issues. You know, it's been really hard to get Specker back in the roster because him and Zethi, who is their previous substitute, they just play such a different role on the server, right? Specker is more on that supporting side. You can see his operators are Bandit and Thermite. Probably not something you'd see your boy Zethi playing, right? That guy's probably walking on the Yana or something like that. So, yeah, I think the adjustment between this roster has been quite hard to fill, especially losing frontline, which I think is a big weakness that we've seen in this roster week to week. So I think, yeah, over the few play days that they've got, Tex has really stopped up to the plate, playing Ash, being able to run his way on in. And yeah, I think in general, this team is starting to find the mojo.
Well, a team that well and truly found their own mojo, Man LFO. This roster came into this stage with probably, I would say, the most tumultuous roster shuffle.
Yeah.
I thought,
here we go.
Oh,
Chef, show us again, brother. We missed it. Come on, show us again. All right, what's it say? So,
Xenox.
Cairo was here. I saw something about Xenox and Guz.
Move the light. Very nice. Okay.
All right.
Guz hater. Xenox is a
Can
real
was
one.
here. Kai was here. Guz equals hater. Xenox equals real one. Any percent Antic dispense speed run.
I don't mind that.
That's the first good one we've seen from Chef.
Yeah, that's going to be. There's going to be an over/under going on that one. That's a damn sure. But honestly, to go back to the point, the roster shuffles we genuinely were worried about. I feel like yes, they picked up Cairo, they picked up Player, but this is a completely different look to what we had previously, Dev.
That's the thing. Mammoth clawed themselves up from being the bottom of OCE at the start of last year, and then as ex-Mammoth, they managed to have a great performance in Stage 2. They were surprising us. We thought maybe they could become the second best team in the region, and in the Rect campaign, in the off-season, they were the second best team in that league, which surprised us massively. Since then, obviously, huge roster changes, and we were worried maybe they lost a bit of that magic, and while it did take them a little while, Cairo and Player bring so much to this team, and Scars, the rookie, has really impressed me for a new player into the roster.
Well, it is time for us to go head-to-head and have a look at which players we're breaking down. Now, which one of you decided this?
I did, yeah. So I really just wanted to look at 2 support players because I know we love talking about them. Also, Spec, I just wanted to see his face again.
That's fair.
So beautiful. I love his energy, and that's really what he brings to the team, especially on a supportive player, a supportive role, supportive operators that he's bringing to the table. Like, he's got landline of experience dating back to the good old days with, of course, Order, VSDS, Fnatic. You know, he even won on stage here in Melbourne at the Six Masters 2019, playing with that Fnatic roster. Of course, a match I know, Rob, that you remember well and one that was very dear to my heart. So he's got a lot of experience. He's also very chill. Like, he knows that this game is 95% mental.
Chill like that.
And he brings it into the server.
I love him. I love him.
Me too, man.
He is one of the GOATs of old, and it's very nice to have him back. But genuinely, I have been saying this for a while, Mandy. I think that Hunter is one of the best IGLs, one of the best support players that we've got in the region at the moment. Do you share my sentiment? Do you think maybe I'm a little bit biased in this?
I think so. I think having good supports in the region is really important, and I think Hunter especially fulfills this role, but I think the addition of Cairo now into the roster as well, who's also someone that's willing to play those like really niche support operators, fills, I think, some of the shoes that Hunter probably can't fill. And I think the combination of the two of them together, both being very vocal players and also supportive players, is probably what's propelling this team forward. And I think, yeah, Hunter's a great foundation for that.
Well, we've seen the best rosters in OCE have always been well-rounded, so look, who knows? Man, LFO, they've got a long time before they get to the greats of Blizz, but it could start here once we get to the playoffs. Let's go ahead and have a look at the veto and figure out what map we're going to. Again, conversations, I think that if you're 6Targets, you're looking for an old map. If you are Man LFO, I think you're going to Club. Honestly, I genuinely think this match goes to Clubhouse. It fits both teams, both play styles, but 6Targets are the ones to ban that out.
Border's still in? No.
Border's gone. Consulate's gone as well, so we're, oh my goodness. I did not expect to see a Skyscraper. Mandy, little bit of a concern.
I didn't think that we were going to go to Skyscraper at all for 6T, to be honest, in this matchup. I think I'm a bit lost on this one. I might pass this one to Dev, to be honest.
Yeah. So, well,
very peculiar.
Yeah, it's crazy because we just don't see Man Esports play this at all. Like, it's 50-50 on their bans. Like, they've banned this half the time. It's been banned against them half the time. So I would call it like a real mid-preference map for them. It's not one of the insta-bans like Cafe, Bank, Border. They never want to go to those. And it has been left in. We've never seen it from Man. And the last time we saw it from 6Targets, believe it or not, was way back in the good old Wrecked campaign. And guess what team they were versing? The ex-Mammoth, now Man Esports roster. In that BO3, ex-Mammoth might have won 2-1, but the one map that they lost to 6Targets was Skyscraper. So the last time these teams played each other, it was actually on this very map. Now, we've had a bit of a reskin of Man LFO since then. Technically a reskin of 6Targets as well. But no doubt that since bringing Cairo Player and Scars and these guys have been reworking that map, and it'll look completely different to what the ex-Order roster, 6Targets guys, versed them on last time.
Well, let's keep this simple. Man LFO, they need to win in regulation. 6Targets need to win, period. Doesn't matter, overtime or in regulation. We go to Skyscraper with Guz and Xenox.
So I have a Xenox fun fact already to kick off this game. If we see 6Targets win in overtime, these two teams would play again tomorrow, but in a best of 3.
So where's the fun part?
I don't know. It's more of just a fact more than anything. We head to Skyscraper, final game of the night, and a pretty big one, as Guz Rob already alluded to on the desk. It's kind of a win and you're in for 6Targets, whether it's OT, whether it's regulation for Man Esports. If they would like to finish second, they must win in regulation. But it's really not do or die because they're locked into top 3. So they're locked into second or, well, they're locked into third right now. They can only get to second. Both of those are on the opposite side of the Blitz bracket. The only difference would be you'd have to play one extra best of 3 against, say, well, 6Targets apparently. Which would be concerning if you kind of lose to them today and then you have to play them tomorrow.
Wouldn't be ideal.
Hashtag free Specker, says Nika. 6Targets on the attack first. I want your honest opinion though. Right now, of course, it's between 6Targets or Panic. Who's going home?
Oh, Chef said hi, Xenox.
Hi, Xenox. Hi, Chefy Jeffy. I did see his sign, did see the whiteboard.
Well, he said that I'm a hater, so I guess I'm going with 6Targets this game.
Look, he said I'm a real one, so go Man Esports. I did actually tip Man Esports, and I think you tipped 6Targets.
Yeah, which is probably why he said what he said.
Probably exactly why. But what's your inkling? What's your feeling? What does your gut and your mind say?
Oh, this is a really tough game, and I think the social media split reflected it pretty well. Very, very close. I do fret a little bit for 6Targets starting out on attack. I'll stand by my prediction, though. I think they have the mental edge. Yeah. They have been in this qualification position so many times that I don't think pressure should be as much of a factor on them. but they need to build pressure themselves and put that onto man LFO, and that's going to be tough attacking into the sky.
You said a lot of words there. So who's going home?
Neither of these teams.
Ooh.
Which implies a 6Targets win.
Which implies that Panic would then forfeit their position in the top 6, which they currently occupy. Now, there is a world in which 6Targets win in regulation. If they do that, it would be Circular Spheres versus Man Esports tomorrow. That would be the 3-6 matchup. So, if you're 6Targets, you would... I mean, what would you prefer? Would you prefer to face the team again tomorrow that you've just beaten, but it would have to be an overtime win, 2 points, and you would also be on the other side of the Team Bliss bracket? Or win in regulation and just take the chances. For what it's worth, they would be playing Antic if that were to happen. If they win in regulation, they would be playing Antic.
I think you just go in, and the idea is to win 7-0.
Yeah.
I don't think it really matters.
Yeah, no, I agree with
You
that.
can't be playing those kinds of
You can't be
games.
picky when you're 2-4.
No. Well, when your stage is on the line, you'll take the win.
Yeah. Alrighty, let's get underway here. Final game of the play day. Final game of the group stage. Playoffs begin tomorrow. And it's all about figuring out who plays who, of course, in terms of the bye. The top 2 both get a bye. Bliss guaranteed, locked in. Odium would be watching right now to see whether or not they do finish second and they do get that bye, or whether or not they have to play again tomorrow in that 3v6 matchup in the quarterfinals. 6Targets fighting for their lives in a do or die. This is a team that has had some really good moments throughout this stage and some rather poor moments. What 6Targets team are we going to get tonight?
So Thermite has been banned out here by Man Esports, so some limited hard breach, and the ace will be relied upon for the attack. 6Targets starting off on that side. Solace has been alleviated here, and so we're going to see that immediately off the rip from Scars, and we saw early pressure on drones, and that economy is going to be really critical for map sweeps here on Skyscraper. Early impacts landed from player. Tex on the lurk down below on Jackal. See if he's able to garner a bit of information with Vigil on the board. That's going to be a key little jewel in this round. Seeing if maybe they can catch somebody off guard. Kind of feels like 6Targets are posturing to maybe avoid this map clear. Hunter is in said roam. May also be a case of trying to force them back on the peel and then catching them on the likes of the throne window and the double window terrace, which is already being watched. Tex does win that opening jewel though. Hunter unable to trade.
Yeah, I was just wondering if maybe play got caught over towards house stairs, maybe making his way back down, and maybe right place, right time for Tex. Didn't actually even use the Inox scanner. Call out. Hunter kind of just stuck over towards office. Shoulder peek. Does spot one. Boss G, the initial shot, unsuccessful. And the only saving grace right now for Man Esports is the fact that it has been a lot of time. Does not win that battle. Yeah, a lot of time has been taken off. Only 60 seconds left, but I think you would definitely take the 2 kills. Or maybe not a lot of time remaining for this T-Room and Karaoke's site. Still got Scars over towards Drums. They can fall back. I mean, Drums, I was going to say, and Dragon both still under control, but that's a big, timely shot from Specker to get the kill onto Cairo. And now they can start to, honestly, blitz their way towards site. Yeah, there's only 40 seconds, but it's a 5-on-2. But you also don't want to over-rush this. Gage has been droned out. Drone got shot out. Chef Jeff and Scars now is the duo.
Yeah, I felt like maybe there's an opportunity in the 3 versus 5, but now a lot of pressure on these 2 remaining defenders. Scars progresses. He'll hold down below.
Keeps pushing.
He could play for Plant Denial on that Solace. Puts a lot of pressure now on Chef. Jeff under the pump. Nico does find Scars down below, so it's Chef solo.
15 seconds to go.
Plant to go down. Well secured there by 6Targets. Good initial clear. Solid push in towards site. And they needed to start well here. Skyscraper attack stage on the line. They do just that.
Yeah, I mean, that's a clinical start from 6Targets. That's going to get any 6T fan up and about. I think I heard Rob actually make a bit of noise there in the background. We know he's an avid 6T fan. Can't help but say he's definitely biased towards them. I think he has a man crush on Specker. Unconfirmed. Does he want to confirm it? Confirmed. Yeah, never mind.
Well, who doesn't, really?
I mean, yeah, that's true.
It would be more unusual if he didn't.
Great round, though. What's interesting about it is they actually kind of just took their time, but throughout taking their time, they also didn't really waste time. I know that doesn't really make a whole lot of sense when I say it, but you can clearly see they want to clear out the roamers towards that extension, towards Office and Exhibition. Did so nicely, played it into the drone game. Never at any point did I feel like 6T were rushing that attack. and pay dividends. And they hit some really good shots. And it really helps, and it's always easy to kind of break down an attack and say, good job, when you just hit your shots.
Yeah, man, we're never given the opportunity to play into the peel, and even when Cairo tried to fall back to site, he got caught as well. I think in the 3v5 minute on the clock, there's a world in which the defense can withhold that pressure, but
As soon as the player dies Dragon, that's it.
yeah, it's very difficult.
I mean, that's where I think for Man Esports, you've just got to play the onion theory a little bit better than that. You know, do you need to put the Vigil on an island with the Boss G deep in towards Office? Probably not. Maybe if you want to get super aggressive at the start of a round, you could, and then fall back pretty quickly from there. Then play Drum, then you fall back to site, play Geisha. But they really did kind of double, then triple down, and eventually lost a couple of players. Deimos being brought to the round, Tex employing that particular operator. Curious to see how that's going to be utilized here on Skyscraper. It can be good, help out in terms of clearing certain positions, but it is offers an exhibition for this particular round. They do bring the Bandit. No Ying. Warden still on the board, though. Plenty of flashes available. Actually, only just the 3 being brought this round. Usually there's a lot more. This current era of Siege. VIP single wall looking to get opened up. Selma thrown out from Kaken. Oh, another opening kill. Goes the way of 6Targets. And Specker's got a good lurk position down below as well. Into lobby. Hunter, though, already at the stairs, but a bit of help. Bailey has just got Specker's top shoulder covered.
Double deathmark failures. I'm pretty sure the first one was meant to go on player, then the second onto Hunter, and they both died in the meantime.
Anticipating. It's just the 6th sense from Tex. Well, if he puts one onto Chef Jeff, I tell you what, he's going to be in some trouble towards Pantry. Could go for a good push towards Delivery. Oh, it's a whiff.
Oh, no.
Massive whiff. Then the push from Bailey looking to punish that, but Chef Jeff was at the ready. Finds the kill. And brings it back to a 4 versus 3, but they are now fully aware that Chef Jeff is on the roam. And they catch him straight away. Nico's got 4 kills. They do lose Specker. Scar's holding strong towards Dragon. Still over a minute remaining, and a good shot from Cairo, and suddenly the round looks a little bit more winnable now for Man Esports. Deathmark has been used onto Cairo, who has a Nitrocell in hand, thrown, and it's a kill from Scars onto Tex. The Nitrocell itself might have done the job, but Nico suddenly now in a 1 versus 2. No logic bomb, no real utility, does have some drones, and 50 seconds.
Yeah, they were not in a great position to capitalize on that Deathmark with Nico still outside. They had information.
Beautiful swing.
Good work from Scars. That was a messy round, though.
Yeah, that onside defense from Scars and Cairo, though, was on point. They didn't really put a foot wrong. 6Targets, I actually think, in that round did a decent job of clearing any kind of roamers. Even when Chef Jeff did actually get one towards Pantry, he rotates off and Nico catches him, gets that kill, so they dealt with that pretty quickly. 6Targets, good entry, good lobby control, played the vert, control house stairs. They got VIP single wall opened up pretty quickly into the round as well, but yeah, Man Esports on their site defense, they were hard to push through.
Attackers need to locate and defuse as many bombs as they can.
Can't wait for Tuesday. Can't wait for tomorrow. To get into that playoff bracket. Still not set, though. Final game of the final play date. Right down to the wire. But the onus, the pressure, and perhaps expectation on 6Targets. 2-4 record at the moment. Need a result tonight, whether it be in regulation or overtime, to send Panic home and claim their spot in the top 6 last round. Unfortunately, another one where they probably should have converted, but the stack out Samurai, perhaps a missed time on the death mark late. Tex forced to go into an unfavorable fight, leaving Nico all alone. Signs that there will be imperfections in this game, but it's about minimizing them.
Aggressive.
Oh, that was close. Chef Jeff falls. How has he died? He's on smoke. Has he jumped out? Or he tried to, I think.
Yeah, I'm imagining Bailey, must have caught him.
Shimi got caught jumping back in, and that's why he's down inside.
Bolt out, couple shots, vault back in, got caught, got downed, and yeah, I think you're right. Dex does lose his life, though, to Scars. Very aggressive from both teams, actually, early on, looking to take these contact fights, which is, I think, a good sign. I think both are playing Skyscraper pretty well right now. The beauty of these kind of games is it's essentially a playoff game. For all intents and purposes, at least for 6Targets, more so than Man Esports, but both teams fighting for something. Oh, this is going to be very aggressive as Scars goes for this. I tell you what, I think he's just caught him here. Yeah, that's prepped and easy. He knows he's on the
Oh, no, are you kidding me? Bailey, the timing of that is anything short.
Oh, perfect! Dead to rights, but no! Call an ambulance, but not for me, says Bailey.
Oh my god. If you're not mad after that, you have got the best mental of anybody in this game. That is cooked.
It's got to win the round though, 4 versus 3. Another opportunity on the attack here for 6Targets. Fall back towards Tea Room and Karaoke now for Man Esports. Still a bit of drum and Mez control. Nico did use his final logic bomb. Geisha hasn't been cleared out. Hunter just holding off. Bailey on the rappel, and outside of the balcony with the kit, it's Kaken. Yet to make a mark so far in this game. He is still on that donut for 6Targets.
If they get stalled out and lose this round, I get concerned.
Oh, he's chunked him big time.
Oh.
No, that's not good. Hopefully that's just us. Hand the reins over. Minute left, 3 versus 3. Hunter's still taken very low. We did lose another play there in Nico. Entry into Geisha. Now Hunter has been downed. He was quite low. So effectively 2 versus 2.
40 seconds then. Can Cairo and player lock down sight? Kaken boots on the ground. Bailey left though. On the rappel. Not the best of positions. We'll see if he's able to hold the plant. First bait to come through. And the shots from player. They land. And Hunter now perhaps in a position where he can be revived. Not needed. Not needed. Player to lock it down.
Oh my goodness, what a player. Well, we do need to take a technical pause to get our observer Sky back in. Credit to Cthulhu. Little solo obs there at the end. Had his moment to shine and didn't disappoint.
Arguably better than Sky. That's all I'll say.
Well,
he's giving me a greasy now.
missed opportunity though for 6Targets, Gus. 2, I feel like. This one's certainly more so than the one on Officer Exhibition. They'll be kicking themselves, and these are the kind of rounds you look back in a game that you're looking to get out of the bottom 2, get into the playoffs. You need to be making the most of the opportunities that are presented to you. Good early round. It's, though, the late round where they are losing. This was a big moment from Bailey in this 3rd round. Big turnaround, got them up to a 4 versus 3. They started to get some control outside Geisha, some control, but not enough control. And certainly the onside execution was just not enough. And that's let them down. It's been a difference maker.
So is Bailey playing in a prison cell?
Well, I made that comment before when we got the cameras, and I said to you, is he playing from a prison block? The brick white walls there. Not too sure if... and honestly, the bed doesn't look anything short of just something you'd actually see in an Australian prison cell. So
that must be a really long USB cable too. He's got it about 5 meters away from his desk. That's impressive.
I'm assuming
it's
that black cable that's like over the bed, right? So that's the end. There you go.
Yeah.
What's on top of the computer though? Is that like lotion? Or is that like soap?
I think it's just soap.
Why would you have soap on your computer?
Sometimes you got to clean it out.
Oh yeah, just wash it with soap. Hey mom, I need to wash the computer. Just put it in the laundry. Oh god.
Maybe it's a candle? No, I don't think it's a candle.
I don't think that's a candle. Smecker's room, though, on the other hand, does look like something that an adult lives in. It's got his nice snowboard as well in the background. Was over in Japan for a little while.
During the quals, actually.
Yeah. Unfortunately, this is extending.
We've got to find out what's on Bailey's computer. That's the real reason.
Technical pause. We need to sort out what's happening there on Bailey's end. When we come back, though, we will continue this final game of the night. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for bearing with us during that technical timeout. Rehost has been avoided, fortunately. Everyone has just been able to get back into the lobby to keep all of our wonderful KDA stats. It's 2-1 for Man Esports LFO Cars, but the scoreboard certainly doesn't tell the full story. The early portions of these rounds have certainly been in favor of 6Targets, but they have been unable to capitalize thus far, and hence they've given up that lead once again.
Yeah, late round execution falling short from 6Targets in the last few rounds. Credit though to Man Esports, they're standing up to the pressure cooker that this match is slowly becoming. Although for them, the expectations already met of making playoffs. An opportunity to perhaps sneak into the top 2, but really the bulk of the pressure is on 6Targets. They need a win of any sort to get themselves into the top 6. Attacking rounds here on Skyscraper can certainly come at a premium. 2 opportunities gone begging. With the Monty here in round 4, we'll see if they're able to finally find their second.
It's like Tex is just staring at the goo mine.
Oh, that won't destroy it.
It's like, what if I jump over it? Holding close in karaoke is Chef Jeff. So tertiary site though, kitchen barbecue. Interesting little angle here from Scars. Giselle from Chef Jeff. This is an interesting lineup. But sensing pressure from outside on the exterior. Smoke goes out, changes his attention over, and it's already slipped down black stairs. I do wonder if Chef Jeff is aware that this has occurred, and Tex is already in a pretty decent position on that Montang.
I mean, Scars does have that line of sight. I don't know where he has repositioned. Hunter's also above in T. Scars back on that line of sight.
Where's Tex going, though? Because you need to clear above. I'm a little bit confused here. I mean, it's fine to get black stairs control and make sure no one's flanking, but you do need to clear Tiram Karaoke.
Well, Kaken on the ace is on Karaoke Repel, so he can't open hard breach in towards Karaoke from that position. And so there's really nothing that Chef Jeff needs to do here but stay alive.
Yeah. And there's only 60 seconds. 6Targets need to clear this position, both positions. Unfortunately, Tex has made his way back up. Specker eats that goo mine. He'll have to take that out. It has allowed him to make entry, though. Smoke off the hallway, and they are just going down black stairs. They are going to ignore. I like the edge trap, though, from Specker. Stops any kind of flank potential. You can watch the vert. I mean, as long as they can get the plant down, then they can deal with the vert later on into the round. Tex is trying his best to make sure that he doesn't die from the floorboards. Scar's position inside of Geisha as well won't get cleared. I do wonder where the plant option will be. And Tex hasn't actually got the kit. It is Kaken. 27 seconds. I mean, right now it doesn't look like a 6Targets roster that is trying to find kills. They just want to try and sneak this kit in towards the site.
I mean, where are the win conditions here for the attack? I'm struggling to find them. Kara gets the first. Eventually traded by Tex with the melee. Play a run out. That's diffused down and round over.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be too overly critical because I think 6Targets have been good so far in this game itself. Time's going to run out. But that round was strange.
Well, for me, the big concern there is if the goal was to clear top floor, they needed to react a whole lot quicker than they did in rotating Kaken on the hard breach to the top black stairs position. They had pocket EMPs on Nico. They could have easily dealt with the mutes and hard breached into that position for Chef off the vert, then ultimately Scars off as well. They decided very late that that was not going to be the case. Tried to, as you mentioned, sneak into sight.
Well, it wasn't so
I don't
much
know.
sneak into sight. I think they felt like if they placed the air jab, there's less likely to be flanked black stairs, watch the vert.
Attackers need to locate.
But it always came down to how you're going to get a plant down.
Well, then they took Diffuser kitchen window and they had
Yeah.
no read over kitchen side at all.
Which is really strange because, I mean, you bring the Montang there, and I think bringing the Montang is fine to clear Tyrion Karaoke, play off that shield, clear above,
Attackers have located a bomb.
and just spent too much time trying to avoid that confrontation, and it cost them in the end. And yeah, time out on the round was a just result. So 3-1 now for Man Esports LFO. For 6 targets. It's not looking good now after a couple of decent signs.
Remaining.
The rounds, though, are slipping away from them. You do not get honorable losses here in Siege. It's just win or lose. And while they've been good in the majority of these rounds, that one not so great. And now 3 defensive rounds already acquired for Man Esports.
Yeah, we've been praising 6 targets for their attacking prowess early mid-round. Actually quite strong. Unfortunately, there in round number 4, it was really anything but. See how they go here, round 5. Tex on the buck, you'll likely want to get presence down below. Convert out players on site. In terms of hard breach, they do have Kaken once more on the ace. Defense in response with the mute and Tuberal combo though. We'll see then Specker if he's able to get much done from down below. Perhaps again in combination with Tex. Not really being contested too much.
Good yellow ping.
Bailey to find that one. Almost thought it was the wallbang, but
Yeah.
I mean, now Bailey can get to work. Air jabs down below.
Sensor on. Let's see what I can find.
But these have been pretty common from 6 targets, these opening rounds. Getting the opening kill, having an advantage. It's the follow-up play. It's the late round play, on site, executing. That's where the issues have certainly been for 6 targets. Slow approach is fine. VIP single wall with a breach. Player holds close. Cairo just sits behind. And 90 seconds left in this round. Mirror window has been broken as well. Tex down below, doing his job on the buck, keeping the pressure. These are good positions still for Man Esports. These are also the kind of positions 6 targets have honestly failed to deal with for the majority of these rounds. So, you know, I've got some concern here.
Yeah, you can see a couple of these defenders now playing for a bit of info on the exterior, seeing maybe if they can pluck one back for the 4v4. So Hunter plays the
Scars is a
single
drum.
breach. Player is contesting Samurai. Cairo main breach. Although he's under threat from down below. Scars is a long way away. Maybe waiting for a lurk on that portion of the map.
Well, it helps Cairo because Cairo can't get swung on from outside exterior and towards his position because you've got that player drum watching entry. Means that Cairo can just sit there watching sight from lounge, no repercussion that anyone's going to push him behind him. So it's a good little sort of blanket defense for him. 30 seconds, also not a lot of time. I mean, this is where Man Esports, I wouldn't mind to see them just swing something here. They'll probably get a kill, catch someone off guard, and there it is. There's that push. House stairs, nicely timed from Hunter. Nico probably trying to get himself into a position. And while they were trying to get rid of that barbed wire, he did swing off of it. Nice kill from Tex. Cairo doesn't have to do anything. There is that Scars push. They would not have anticipated a player coming in from Drum. Cairo,
Diffuser.
the whole time, was in a very comfortable position. Never had to worry about the position behind him because of Scars. That was an incredibly well set up defense from Man LFO. Unfortunately for 6 targets, once again, decent early start, late round execution, just totally in disarray.
Yeah, I don't know if it's a lack of confidence or information, but these positions continue to cause problems for 6 targets. Cairo was there the entirety of the latter portion of that round, yet they still played into it, maybe sensing that it was an option with the mirror disrupted. Player continued to aggress Samurai window. Ultimately, he wasn't cleared either. The one positive for 6 targets was their ability to eventually clear house stairs. I think that was good from them, but
Even that cost them a life, though.
everywhere
It was just
else,
a 1-for-1.
everywhere else it fell apart. Critically, Diffuser fell over towards main breach too. Scars was never dealt with on the other side of the map. Like, good defense from Man LFO. 6Targets, I'm not sure they're playing well enough to deserve a spot in top 6 at the moment.
No, I agree. I mean, it's kind of the beauty of this win and you're in mentality. If you can beat a team like Man Esports, you deserve to make it in. If you lose in this fashion, you certainly don't. If you do lose close, I mean, I'm not going to lie. If they were able to force overtime and they lost, say, in OT, I'd be a little bit heartbroken for them. That would be, I think, a real statement. And truthfully, Skyscraper can lean to the defense. No qualms about that. 6Targets would be more than capable of getting defensive rounds here, but if this goes to 5-1, it'll be a long, long way back. We already did see a 6-1 comeback tonight, though, so things can happen. Certainly on defense. Big round here to close out the half. Regulation win is required for Man Esports to finish in 2nd place. A loss would still keep them in 3rd and away from Bliss for as long as possible. If you want to go to Manchester, though, you will have to beat them at some point.
Yep. So the Monty has been brought once again here from 6Targets. See if Tex can perhaps play some more advanced and aggressive position. Actually see that shield get in melee range of opponents. Close down that gap. Continue to gain information. Instead of playing from afar and giving that space, forfeiting it to the defense of Man LFO. Quick confident entry over towards Office. It's very early peel for Man LFO. In fact, I don't even know if they established much over on that other side of the map. Bailey as well, snuck into Dragon. Has a read, has a ping. Kyra needs to be careful.
Yeah, Kyra's been really good on site, though. 5-2. Doesn't give away his life for free. It's the on-site defense of Man Esports that has really set them apart. They've been really difficult to dislodge. Maybe a big factor for that is there's not a lot of dislodge potential for 6Targets.
Ooh,
Well, Specker does go down in towards Dragon. Didn't quite catch how that has
Nitro
actually
from
happened. Was it
Hunter,
Nitro? Yeah, I'm thinking Nitro.
Oop, not traded.
And Kaken does allow that little push back in through makeup towards Geisha. 60 seconds, 5 versus 5, and we know full well the way this match has been playing that for 6Targets, it's this late round execution that has unfortunately befallen them every single time. They lose Kaken. 0-5, and a good swing from player. Tiny bit of aggression from Man Esports, and 6Targets just, yeah, they falter. Gumine, annoying. Tex is going to have to take that out. Further delaying the push. Nico losing his life, and it's the, well, same as the previous rounds. Drop from Tex through Mez, gets a kill at least onto player. Won't be a flawless round, but it will be a round win for Man Esports, and they are 2 rounds away from getting themselves 2nd place. A real solid performance right now from Man Esports. A very professional defensive half here on Skyscraper.
Yeah, it feels a little bit like 6Targets are falling into old habits with these attacks where they're quite linear, one-sided. We're not seeing that more modern approach, if you want to call it split theory or not, up to you, where it's you have that lurk potential on the opposing side of the push, or at least you're isolating key positions and having multiple points of pressure on them. Stacking Terrace and stacking Dragon, whilst it was good map control for 6Targets at the start, just trying to go head on into the likes of Cairo that are locking down site really well, and others like Hunter as well, he was in that Geisha position. It's really just not going to be successful against these stronger defensive units. And I think for 6Targets, they're getting exposed a little bit now. Not just late round, but mid to even early. Last 2 rounds. Really has felt like the energy has been sucked out of this match.
Yeah, it has. Yeah, I agree.
And 6Targets might be able to salvage something with this half, but I mean...
I wouldn't say we overhyped this game, but I definitely felt like we build it to be closer than this. Just a little bit.
I expect 6Targets to fight back here valiantly. I just don't know if they are going to be able to do it with this kind of disadvantage at the moment.
Is this meant to be a smile on the Geisha? Whoa. We have a smile check. No? Okay.
Hostile detected.
I don't know what he's talking about. Oh, yeah. I don't know where we're going. Oh, here we go. It's kind of like a... I mean, if it wasn't for the top left bit, it would be like a really weird... It's not a smile, but like an emoji face. I see where I see where Chef Jeff is going. I got him. He's good. I think it's just a coincidence.
Chef just needs to focus on getting kills, to be honest.
Well, he doesn't really.
Well, actually, to be fair, Kairo's farming this game, so
Yeah,
it's okay.
He doesn't have to
I
do
take that
anything.
back.
No wonder you're a hater.
Well, someone has to be.
Yep.
I did pick 6 targets, and I'm quite concerned. Quite concerned.
Flashbang in towards Geisha from Chef Jeff. Well, this is a very aggressive position for Nico now. If the vert below does get taken, which I think it has, he's in a bit of a spot. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Ooh, that's quite nice.
Nicely done for player. Yellow ping information. They had the vert. Nico really couldn't... I mean, he could move from there, but I don't think he sensed the danger down below. The 20. Oh, hang on, a little peek up. Chef Jeff wasn't ready for that. To see him peeking right at the Geisha window. Aggressive from Bailey. But no kill found. And unfortunately, plenty of other kills found elsewhere inside of the server. That's a bit of a swing and a miss. And Tex will die.
Wow.
Towards restaurant stairs. It's 6-1, and this is looking done. Shake of the head from Nico. Not really any smiles from Tex or Specker. Honestly, some pretty glum faces for, honestly, a bunch of guys that have been around a long, long, long time. And this is not the stage that they were anticipating or hoping for. There was a sense of optimism for this particular roster that they could maybe rekindle an old flame. But as 2024 has befallen upon us, it's the old dogs that are both looking like they're out. Carlton's Knights and 6 targets, 10 players with a wealth of experience will not be going to the playoffs unless 6 targets can win 5 rounds straight to send this to overtime.
Man, LFO, though, now with multiple opportunities at a regulation win, which will bump them up into the top 2. One less game for them to play in that playoff bracket. Assuming they get it across the line in regulation, they'll be seeded into the semi-final above Team Bliss. And in that game, they'll take on the winner of the 3rd versus 6th place quarterfinal, which would be Odium versus Panic.
Yeah, I think that'll be a really good game. I think most of the playoff matchups will be quite intriguing. The 4-5 matchup as well. Antic versus Circular Spheres. Oh, won't that be a banger? Best of 3 as well. Of course, they played earlier today. Overtime all the way, 15 rounds required. So, we'll see them again tomorrow.
Yes, we will.
Well, it's all about that one round at a time mentality. Inch by inch for 6 targets.
I don't know if they've got many inches in them at the moment, I'm not going to lie.
I don't think so. Easy entry for Chef Jeff, cooking up in towards Geisha. Nico gets sat on the floor. More yellow ping information towards drum side. Montaigne being utilized as well from Hunter. And it's been very clinical from Man Esports. There's winning and... Well, there's winning in a dominant fashion. It certainly has been a very dominant fashion from Man. Good form being built up going into the playoffs. They will not have to play tomorrow. Oh, that's just devastating. The timing. Chef Jeff gets the kill with the skeleton key. Bailey does at least hands it back, gets a trade, keeps things alive and hopeful for 6 targets. The Montaigne just continues to push forward though into Dragon. Player now lurking towards house stairs.
And this is what we didn't really see much from 6 targets, right? It's this pressure from player, the solo, lurk potential, let the shield garner information elsewhere, apply pressure horizontally. We're actually going to see Man Esports respond and try to overwhelm this Montaigne. No one's supporting the Monty. Where's the rest of the team? Hunter left on an island with that diffuser, tries to respond with the pistol out, falls. Player meanwhile also downed as well, now Tex.
Tex in a 1 versus 2 with player on the floor, has to take out Scars and Kyra to keep the hopes alive for 6 targets. Has got time, but time he doesn't want. And Scars will finish it all off. It's a 7-1 domination from LFO. Chef Jeff is pumped, as they rightfully should be as a team. They have confirmed second place in the group stage. Unfortunately for 6Targets, that will be the end of their stage, of this stage. They will not be going to the playoffs. It is 6Targets, it is Carlton's Knights that we say goodbye to for Man Esports. It is a bye that is confirmed. Top 2 finish. We'll see them next week in the semi-final. And it's a big performance too, 7-1 in a game where 6Targets had a lot to play for, but they couldn't get the job done.
I predicted the underdog, and it proved very, very costly. 6Targets and Carlton's Knights, both in the bottom 2. The washed truly are washed, unfortunately for them. But man, top 2, pretty crazy storyline, and excited to see them in the playoff bracket.
A lot of fun. Every group stage here in the Oceania League, that is the group stage, finished, finalised. Fortunately, the playoffs begin tomorrow, but don't fret, we've got the desk. We'll break everything down.
Thank you very much for that, boys. And it is a somber end to the BO1 format, Mandy. We had such high hopes for Carlton's Knights and for 6Targets, but the old gunners just don't gun like they used to.
Yeah, no, but I think it's a pretty different story for both of them, right? I think Carlton's Knights, it was pretty clear, I think, what they were doing wrong, and I think they know it themselves as well. Whereas I think for 6T, it's hard to pinpoint one thing that they're like, yep, they're really bad at this. It's just, I think they had a lot of teething issues like all around, and they looked like they really struggled in this stage, and it's really sad to say goodbye to them.
It is.
But it does mean that we get all the new people in the playoffs. And that's really exciting.
Well, that's it. Maybe it's a testament to where the region's at, Dev. Maybe it is time for the new players.
It's the time for the rookies. Even Scars there getting the final kill there for Man LFO. I thought that this roster probably had a downgrade compared to last year, and when they really came into form in that rec tournament. Speaking of, great revenge on Skyscraper there. It was the map that the X-Order, now 6T roster, beat the X-Mammoth, now Man LFO roster on during that Rex preseason tournament. So great stuff to finally see Man LFO back at the top where they belong and getting a bye in the playoffs as well.
Yeah, they definitely belong there. There's no question about it now. I think coming into this stage, we had probably 3 teams that we were sure were going to be vying for second place. One of them feels like they're not even within a country mile of them. Yeah. The other 2, it is neck and neck. Feels like Odium and Man LFO are starting to carve that space out a little bit, Mandy, as we now start to look back at, I guess what Man LFO have achieved. I don't want to ask you this question, but I'm going to ask you this question. Overachieved, underachieved, or hit right in the sweet spot?
To me, they've overachieved.
Okay.
I think for my LFO, I feel like that second place spot was really competitive, and I think for them to have been able to take that second place spot with consistency throughout every week, because to me that's a big overachievement. Not only that, but because of how little time they've been together as a 5-man roster. Actually, you can say that for a lot of these teams.
Yep.
After the campaign, they look like a very informed team for how little they've been together.
Well, we have Sully on the line. Let's welcome the coach in to discuss a little more about what has unfolded. One, congratulations and welcome to the broadcast. I don't believe we've had you on yet, have we?
Yeah, no, I don't think we have. Chef sort of hogged all of the interviews. First time.
Yeah, we're absolutely shocked that Chef has absolutely well and truly taken the spotlight every day. Would you like to give yourself a quick introduction for the viewers at home whom might not be aware of you?
Yeah, so I'm the babysitter of Man LFO. I sort of try and make all of the parts work together, essentially, which the coach does. I'm really proud of the boys tonight. We've worked quite hard. There's been ups and downs, but we've, the results show.
Yeah, look, the results have well and truly shown, and I think that it's a massive testament to what you and the rest of the team have done. What are the biggest challenges or hurdles that you've had to overcome this stage, given the fact that it was such a short period of time to turn around this roster?
I think a lot of it came down to prioritizing what's important. First of all, getting sort of a map pool together. We do have Judd, who's just really, he's a really smart player, and he does a lot of the strategic side of things. So it takes a load of me to be able to do a lot of an internal focus on how the team can improve, and sort of mesh together with essentially 2 halves coming in as one, and create a team out of that. Yeah.
Yeah, mate. Nice to see you, by the way. Been a hot minute.
Yeah.
And congratulations on second place in the league as well. Yeah, I just wanted to ask about that. You were talking about the process of bringing these two halves, obviously Kyron player coming from the old Odium, and you having your two boys already there with Chef and Hunter, and then Scars. So talk me through a little bit about what it was like each individual player that you ended up deciding to keep on the team. What was that process like after losing two of your big star players to Antic?
Yeah, I mean, it's quite unfortunate, I think, at the end of the day, though, like, the sort of play speaks louder. And I think one of the hardest things was sort of figuring out who the two best sort of experienced players were available for us to pick up. I think there was no doubt it was only like Player and Kyra who were experienced, strong players, and Scars was just a sort of no-brainer. I think he's one of the most talented entries that in OCE at this time. He gets in there, does his job, does it well, and there's not much you can ask more of him.
It's good to see you on the broadcast. Welcome to Slotto's broadcast. You very much deserve this position here. I wanted to ask a little bit more about your coaching process. So you mentioned earlier that Hunter does a lot of the strategic stuff. So for you as the head coach, do you do more analyst work? Is it more performance-based, like on the mental side? What do you do for the team and how do you do it?
Yeah, I did mention that I was a babysitter, but it is kind of that factor, right? A lot of personalities exist within this team, like having them mesh well together and sort of like agree on a strategic direction,
Okay.
as well as like figuring out, okay, we've had this time up to now with scrimming, what are the weaknesses, what are the glaring issues we need to work on as a team, and like ensuring that within the game days we're communicating to the best of our ability, right? I think this team is so strong on problem solving that I don't need to sit there and sort of tell them what's right and wrong. So it comes down to really like figuring out what else I can add, and obviously there's a lot of analyst work being done in the background. Yeah.
Now, just please correct me if I'm wrong. Is it Sali?
Yeah, it's Solly.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
just wanted to make sure I nailed that one. I don't want to be sending you off without saying the right name. Look, again, I think it's a tremendous amount of respect needed to be given to you and the players to have pulled together on such short notice, and given the circumstances of how this team has continued to, I guess, transform over the stage. It's tremendous to see a second place finish for you, and I think that it really is now setting up an unbelievable playoffs, a GSL format that will intrigue a lot of people. I have no doubt about it. Is there anything you'd like to say before we let you go?
Yeah, I just want to thank sort of everyone. I was sort of in the sort of trenches of T2, and Chef and Judd gave a sort of opportunity and a chance, and they really liked what I did. So that, thanks to those two, obviously a big reason why I stuck with them. And just the rest of the players, like putting in their all, coming in day after day, have an argument here, then come back and do it all over again. I think just really testament to everyone. Thank to you guys. And yeah, thanks to the rest of the team on the stage. And really, we are still LFO.
Smart, man. Make sure you pick this roster up. They're going places. Sally, thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you. See you guys.
Well, you know what? It is always great to hear from a coach's perspective, especially a coach that can speak so fluidly and clearly. I think is something that we've always needed inside the region, and we're starting to get it bit by bit. But honestly, it really does just speak volumes about this roster dev and what they've achieved.
Yeah, I've been really impressed, and I'm also just looking back at the run that these guys had, because when we saw Man Esports lose to Odium just 3 play days ago, I think we were really concerned. That was the moment where I personally said, okay, Odium is now the second best team in this region behind Bliss. But guess what? Man Esports only dropped that game and a loss to Bliss, and every other match they won out. Whereas Odium, for example, they lost to Panic, they lost to Antic, and that kind of spins the tale, right? Man Esports, aside from Bliss, lost the least number of games this stage. And I certainly hadn't called that coming in, especially with the form that Antic had achieved for themselves. Yep. These guys got a full 3 points out of their Antic game. And that tells you so much about where this roster has come from, especially after making probably the most significant roster changes, I would say, of any team coming into this league. And it's a testament to how hard they work and how talented this roster